Today, I'm creating the weakest character in the Naruto universe, but there is a condition. I can only use strong characters to achieve this. So for example, I cannot use random civilians to take traits from them. Otherwise, well, there would be no point creating this video. Okay, so other than that rule, here is another one. We can only use each character once. From the moment a character is used, we have to use another one from there onwards. Okay, and with that out of the way, let's get to the exciting part of the video. Let's start with one of the most interesting and at the same time important abilities to possess as a ninja, ninjutsu. Okay, here I have two exceptionally strong characters that, well, let's just say their ninjutsu skills are at the very least limited. The first of those two is, of course, Might Guy. I mean, the guy managed to go toe-to-toe with none other than Ten Tails Madara Uchiha with nothing more than taijutsu. Zero ninjutsu used in that fight, simply because, well, his ninjutsu sucks. But wait, because even though Might Guy's ninjutsu sucks, he actually has the ability to use ninjutsu to some extent, since we saw him summoning a turtle once. This next character, however, cannot even do that. Nothing at all. No ninjutsu whatsoever. And this is, of course, Rock Lee. The guy managed to become one of the strongest characters in the world of Naruto, and yet he relies strictly on taijutsu skills. He is by far the worst high-level shinobi when it comes to ninjutsu. Now, this was just the first point, and we still have 16 traits left to analyze. And by the end of the video, we will have in our hands one of the weakest shinobi in history, using only elite shinobis of the Naruto world. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep going. The next trait in line is genjutsu. Okay, let's see our options. Well, for starters, we could go for a character like Naruto, for example. Insanely strong, right? In pretty much all traits, and yet we have never seen him use genjutsu. We only saw him saying that Jiraiya taught him how to break out of genjutsu when he is put inside one. Another case similar to that is the fourth Raikage. I mean, the guy is powerful, strong, fast, durable, has high-level techniques, he's literally a Kage, and yet we've never seen him use genjutsu. But well, let's just say that instead of those two, I will be going for someone else instead. Sakura. Hear me out. Both Naruto and the fourth Raikage were never dubbed as genjutsu specialists, but Sakura was. Remember back in OG Naruto? Sakura was supposed to be a genjutsu-type kunoichi, but for someone whose specialty is this, we saw her use genjutsu precisely 0 times. Yeah, that's how bad it is. So because of that, I will be going for Sakura for our character's genjutsu. Having covered genjutsu, let's now move on to taijutsu. Here, I've got 3 candidates, the first of which is none other than Nagato. Wait, how is an elite shinobi like Nagato not good in taijutsu, you might ask? Way ahead of you. The form I'm considering for him is not his prime form, but rather his weakened and sick version where he's basically nothing more than bones. Well, it's kinda hard to use taijutsu in that state, right? That's why he fights from a distance, by using those rods in the path of pain to control them while he remains somewhere far away. Under different circumstances, I would be using him. However, since I can only use each character once, and I want to use Nagato for another trait, I will save him for now. Let's see what other characters we can consider here. The second character is Tonton. I mean, yeah, I know we shouldn't really, strictly speaking, see Tonton as an elite character. But well, for the purposes of this video, I do think that she falls within the stronger side of characters, so we'll be considering her. Alright, so how bad are her taijutsu skills? Well, for starters, let's just say she fights with the use of weapons, since when it comes to hand-to-hand combat, well, she sucks. Just see her here being destroyed after fighting Temari. With that said, how about our third candidate? For that, we have Ino Yamanaka. Her taijutsu skills are again, well, very limited. Her fighting style does not really rely at all on taijutsu, as instead of fighting someone head-on, when she has to fight, she uses her mind switch jutsu instead. Between Tonton and Ino, both would be a good choice, as both of them are terrible at taijutsu. But since I can only use one, I think I'll be using Ino, since for Tonton, I've got another point I can use her for. Up next, Kenjutsu, aka the ability to fight with swords. Alright, so this is an important one. I mean, think of how strong characters like Sasuke or Boruto, or the 7 swordsmen of the mist are when using their swords. As a result, let's use someone who sucks at this. The 2 characters I have in mind here are Shikamaru and Deidara. Both of them were never seen using swords. One fights with bombs, while the other fights with his shadow possession abilities. But between the two, who do you think is the worst in using swords? Well, among the two, I think Shikamaru is worse, as Deidara is quite agile and seems to have a more versatile set of skills that may be of good use when using swords. So, as a result, I will be choosing Shikamaru here. Next up, how about we give our characters the Fuinjutsu capabilities of someone? one, aka sealing abilities. Well, one of the characters we could consider here is Minato, but well, he's not exactly the weakest at this trait. I mean, he is capable of literally sealing the 9 tails within Naruto, and even more than that, he's skilled enough to seal half of it in Naruto and the other half within himself, and also somehow seal part of his chakra within Naruto to be able to send him a message once he comes of age. So yeah, let's see what other options we've got. We could go for Karni, but again, her healing seals are not what you would call something insignificant. Orochimaru is literally an expert in this area, so yeah, we're not going to be choosing him either. Obito, Madara, Jiraiya, Hiruzen, all of them have really good Fuinjutsu capabilities. So how about we present someone who will actually be taking here? None other than Lord Tenten. Her sealing capabilities are limited to basically sealing weapons in her scrolls. So yeah, it doesn't really get any worse than that. We're talking about Genin level sealing capabilities. And the issue is that this is supposed to be her primary ability as well. Summon weapons in battle by previously sealing them in her scrolls. So looks like for this point, we'll be using Tenten. But speaking of sealings, how about we see what tailed B-Star character will have sealed within him? Alright, so hear me out here. In the world of Naruto, there can only be 9 Jinchuriki at the same time, on the maximum. Everyone else simply does not have this ability. So us giving our character a tailed beast would automatically make him not the weakest character. And as a result, let's just pick a strong character here that simply does not possess a tailed beast. How about we go for Jiraiya? Alright, so how about the chakra reserves of our character then? Will they be massive? Well, not quite. The first one we could consider is Rock Lee. However, we've already used him, so we can't take him again. How about Might Guy then? Well, hear me out. Even Madara Uchiha acknowledged Might Guy's chakra and even went on to call him, quote, the strongest.
I, Madara, declare that you are the strongest of them all!
Even though Might Guy is not skilled in ninjutsu, this does not mean that his chakra reserves are small. As a matter of fact, Might Guy's reserves might be actually huge, as chakra in the world of Naruto is nothing more than life force and energy. You require this to do everything, not just ninjutsu. And since Might Guy is one of the most lively and highly athletic people out there, his chakra reserves are definitely not small. How about Sasori then? As a puppet master, he used techniques that didn't require significant chakra output, relying on poison and his puppets instead. Something similar applies to Kankuro as well, but will I be choosing one of them? Not quite, because, well, you're gonna have to hear me out on this. And before you come at me, be a bit patient and just let me explain. Sasuke Uchiha, but his Boruto fillers version. In the fillers, Sasuke is basically out of chakra all the time. This was part of the reason why the Boruto fillers were not liked very well by fans, because Sasuke felt way weaker in contrast to how he usually is. So because of that, I will be taking this version of Sasuke for our character's chakra. Next up, a seal. Alright, so here there are quite a few really overpowered ones. Karma Seal from Kawaki or Boruto that literally grants the powers of an Otsutsuki. Jugo's Cursed Mark that grants immense physical powers similar to that of a wild beast. And then we have Tsunade's and Sakura's 100 healings that basically turn the people releasing this seal into something close to immortal beings. So, which one should we be choosing? Well, guess what? I'll be going for none of them. As again, in the world of Naruto, only a very small percentage of the Shinobi population have access to a seal. And since we're trying to create the weakest possible Shinobi, well then, I think our best course of action would be to select a character without access to a seal instead. So, I'm gonna be going for Hinata Hyuga instead. Well, after all that, how about Sage Mode next? Now, hear me out. We've got characters like Minato, Hashirama, Naruto, Kabuto, Mitsuki, and so on and so forth. But again, these characters have perfect Sage Mode capabilities. And let me tell you, their Sage Mode transformations are definitely not a joke. Like Mitsuki, for example, turns into something close to an Otsutsuki, while Hashirama becomes even more godly than what he used to be. So, should we go for Jiraiya? I mean, Jiraiya was shown to not have a perfect mastery over his technique, as when going into Sage Mode, his face was being distorted and featuring characteristics similar to that of a frog. That's because his frog Sage Mode was not perfect, and thus some of the energy was not absorbed properly. But well, once again, why use a character with Sage Mode at all? Again, this is a rare ability, So let's just give him Neji's Sage Mode capabilities, aka no Sage Mode. Alright, how about IQ then? Well, here I've got 3 characters in mind. The first is Sakura. I mean, remember when she witnessed Minato and asked, quote, "Who is this?" Like the guy was standing in front of her with his cape literally writing 4th Hokage on it. Not only that, but in the same arc, she said, and with a straight face, mind you, that she, quote, finally caught up with the 2 of them, aka Naruto and Sasuke. Yeah, I don't think so. Alright, so how about our second choice? Well, this could definitely be Naruto, right? I mean, yeah, his battle IQ is exceptional, but when it comes to actual IQ, well, let's just say that Naruto is not the brightest. But in reality, the one I will actually be choosing for this is, of course, Kiba. I mean, the guy still says and actually believes that Naruto was and still is his rival, and that it was either going to be Naruto as Hokage, or otherwise he would be the one to become the 7th Hokage. Yeah, the delusion is definitely strong with this one. 12 traits down, 5 more to go. And the next in line is Battle IQ. Here, I'm not even going to give out candidates. It's Kurenai, hands down. I mean, remember when she was faced against Itachi? And what did she decide to do? Of all the things she could try, she literally tried to put Itachi in a genjutsu. Yeah, that's how bad this was. If you ever feel like you've made some wrong choices in life, please remember this instance with Kurenai. I am sure it's gonna make you feel better about yourself. Moving on, let's give our character the physical strength of someone. So here, we could probably go for someone like Tonton or Ino, right? Or even Shikamaru, who I suppose is not the strongest when it comes to physical strength. For all 3 of them, their strength lies in something else. Ino, for example, has the mind techniques. Shikamaru, the shadow possession in combination with his sharp intellect, while Tonton, well, she just doesn't really get any screen time. So which of these 3 should we choose? On my end, I'm choosing none of them, as there's a character far weaker than them when it comes to physical strength, but at the same time, far stronger in overall strength. This would be none other than Nagato Uzumaki. I mean, while being sick, he is by far the weakest elite shinobi when it comes to physical strength. His own body is weak and fragile, and it shouldn't be mixed up with the paths of pain that are basically just moved by his Rinnegan. Overall, he is by far the best choice for this point. Hold on, there's more. Let's give our character a summoning as well. Here, I've got 3 candidates. The first one is Kakashi, with his weak summoning being Pakun. Pakun's main ability and purpose is that he has an exceptional sense of smell. He can track targets over long distances, detect subtle changes in sense, and even identify emotions like fear or hostility through smell. But when compared with other summonings like Gamabunta, Auda, or even Garuda, then yeah, Pakun is definitely way weaker than them. The second candidate I have is Kid Naruto. With his small toads, he could barely summon when first learning the skill. And for anyone ready to say that Kid Naruto was not strong, well, think again. The guy was literally fighting against Neji, who was dubbed a prodigy and was definitely giving him a run for his money. Not to mention that a few episodes later, he fought a Kage-level Gaara when Gaara went berserk with his tailed beast Shukaku. So yeah, there's that as well. And my third candidate here is Might Guy, with his turtle summoning. As a turtle, Ninagame possesses a naturally strong shell that provides excellent defense against physical attacks. But yeah, that's about it for that one. Overall, between the 3 of them, I think I'd have to go for Naruto's small toads, as in essence, these summons are, well, nothing more than regular frogs. On to our last 2 traits. The next one in line is a weapon. Alright, so hear me out. Which weapon should we give our character here? Well, the answer to that is none other than Shuriken. I mean, for the show that everyone throws Shuriken all the time, we have literally never seen someone being killed by them. Heck, not even really seriously injured. Imagine having shinobis trained in a skill for literally hundreds, if not thousands of hours, so that they can master it, and in the end, no one ever gets even injured from this technique. Yeah, that's how weak Shurikens are in Naruto. So as a result, this is the weapon I'll be giving to my character. But which character should we name and use it for? I don't know. Let's just go for Shino here. And for the final part of today's video, let's be a little bit generous and give our character a special ability as well. Yeah, I know we don't have to do this, since not all Naruto characters have a special ability anyway. But come on, we've already messed this character up pretty badly. At least we gotta let him have this. But yeah, don't get those hopes up too high anyway. The special ability we'll be giving him won't be anything really that special. We could go for Hiden's immortality, but that's way too overpowered. Daemon's ability to reflect attacks back when touching his opponent, again, really overpowered. We could make him a cyborg through scientific modification, but again, that's pretty strong for an ability we want here. Ida's special ability to make anyone that sees her fall in love with her, once again, way too strong. We could even go for someone with space-time ninjutsu, but again, this is way too powerful, meaning we'll be going for Kisame's ability to breathe underwater. I mean, having this ability when literally literally all Shinobi can walk on water isn't exactly the strongest of special abilities, now is it? Click on this video next, where I'm letting luck decide on the strongest possible Naruto character. Go on, check it out!